Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I will admit that I probably don't get enough use out of almost all of my bags. The more bags you own, the less you're able to use each individual one. But there are definitely some bags that I use less than other ones. And unfortunately, there are a total of 6 bags that I haven't touched in quite a long time. There's like a small layer of dust on them. So I'm going to compile all of that in today's video, kind of talk about why I feel like I haven't been reaching for them. And this is not to say that I won't ever be using these bags ever again. It kind of goes in waves and cycles sometimes. But yeah, it's just a little food for thought, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. I think it makes sense to start with the bag that really triggered this entire video, and it is one of my So Black bags from Chanel. This is the So Black Mini Rectangular in the pearly lambskin, and I got this bag last year, and I said that even though I do have another So Black bag in my collection, this was different enough from my So Black Mini reissue that I could, justify having both in my collection. And the thing is, I actually have a total of 3 bags that are very similar in size and color and just I feel like everything about them. So it's not just this bag along with the mini reissue, but it's also my Celine pickle belt bag in black. It has a little bit of gold hardware on it, but it's really minimal. So it's like, it might as well just be like no hardware on it whatsoever. And these 3 bags are just very similar that I feel like if I were to only have one of the 3, I could do just fine with that. And why is this the bag that kind of got left behind and just left sitting in my closet? I kind of have this weird thing where I always save the best for last. Even when I'm like eating, for example, if there's like different ingredients to like one plate of food, I always start with the one item that I like the least, and then I save the best part for last. So it's kind of like the same with this bag. Amongst this bag and my mini reissue and the Celine bag, this is probably the one that I love the most, like looking at it, how it looks. But it also wasn't used for such a long time. I think part of it is this is definitely the most delicate by far. This lambskin is probably the most delicate lambskin bag that I own, and I do have quite a few of them. There's just something about this leather that feels really nice, but feels like you can't even look at it the wrong way. And that just makes me want to keep this completely pristine if I can. And I've been kind of trying to figure out, like, should I sell one of these 3 black mini bags that I have? And the thing is, I don't know which one I would choose to get rid of. I feel like the 2 that have the most overlap is this one and the mini reissue. But the mini reissue is the one that I use the most, and I don't want to get rid of this one. And then the Celine belt bag, that is also different too. And the way that bag is constructed, the way that the handle is attached to the bag, I actually really like that. So it's so hard. I definitely don't need all 3 of these black bags because they're kind of like competing for attention in a way. But yeah, I just don't know which one I should or am willing to let go of. If you have any ideas, any suggestions, definitely let me know. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. And then the next bag is one that I'm actually looking to sell. This is the only bag out of everything on this list that I'm like definite that I want to sell, and it is this small little vanity case from Chanel. So I did include this in a vlog sale that I did towards the end of last year, but if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't truly comfortable and prepared to let go of this vanity case, this little tiny mini bag at that point. I was kind of relieved that it didn't actually sell. I did kind of price it in a way that, not to say that it was like outrageous in price, but it was priced a little bit higher so that, you know, it wouldn't be quite as easy to sell. So when it didn't sell, I was actually like somewhat relieved. But you know, I think I am ready to let this go now, because between when I filmed that vlog sale and now, and even like probably for half a year or so prior to that vlog sale, so it's probably been close to a year at this point for this specific bag that I haven't used it, because it doesn't fit my phone. And I think I was kind of holding out hope that Apple would release a flip phone, and it just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen anytime soon. And yeah, there are other flip phones on the market, but I feel like I'm just so embedded in like the Apple like ecosystem, that it's hard for me to like shift away from it, and I kind of don't want to, even though I would love to be able to use this bag. So unfortunately, this has to kind of get sacrificed in whatever amount of years. If they do decide to release a flip phone, maybe I will buy another tiny mini bag like this, whether I look for the same exact one on the resale market, or you know, if mini bags are still a thing by that time in the future, maybe I could buy another one in the boutiques. Who knows? But it's just that right now this is not getting used at all. And I actually am prepared to send this off to Fashion File. They did give me a quote that honestly, it's not great. It's not a great quote whatsoever. Just they've been giving out some like really low quotes recently. But you know, I'm kind of ready to let go of this. But if you are interested in this bag, I will leave a price in the description box down below. That's essentially the price that Fashion File quoted me, plus the amount that it would cost for me to ship it, because Fashion File usually they usually give you free shipping if you're, you know, sending a bag to them. So if you're interested in this bag, I will leave the price, you know, that just kind of like evens it out to if I were to sell it to Fashion File. So you could buy this at a much better price than if you were to look for it on Fashion File specifically. I'm sure they're going to list this bag on their website for like close to double what they offered me. So yeah, that's kind of the end result of this bag. And I guess just really quickly, this does have two compartments that you open with a zipper for each compartment. There's this little top handle at the top. It's like this kind of like rounded circular shape. It comes with the, you know, chain strap that is not detachable. And the only small kind of like wear and tear on it is there's a little bit of tarnish on the two zipper pulls, and inside there's like this tiny little stain on it. But yeah, that's about it. It's in like great condition otherwise. But yeah, this is ultimately what I decided to do with this bag. Unfortunately, it just doesn't really work for me. But yeah, I'm definitely going to look to add a new bag in a very similar color to this one back into my collection when I'm able to sell this one along, because I think the color of this bag actually works very nicely with a lot of my wardrobe. It's just that even though I want to reach for this bag, I can't, because I'm too clumsy and I need my phone to fit into my bag, because otherwise I would just drop it all the time, and I can't be buying a new phone like every single month because the screen cracked. So yeah, kind of unfortunate. So next, I'm actually going to talk about the bag that I can't even show you guys right now because it's in storage. That's how long that I haven't used it. And it actually is my neverfull MM in the Damier Ebene with the rose ballerine lining. And for such a long time, I have raved about that bag. I used it so much. The inside of that bag is like a complete wreck. It's like stained and everything. It's the one bag that I guess I never bothered to really maintain it all that much, because it was just kind of like a throw everything in it type of bag. Sometimes I would throw my groceries in there, just, yeah, like anything and everything. But I can't exactly pinpoint when I started noticing like an issue, but it probably has to do with like getting older and aging, and things just start hurting and aching for no reason whatsoever. But essentially that bag became too heavy. I think it's partially due to, you know, the bag being a little bit heavier overall, because it is kind of like a big bag. Even when it's empty, it's kind of a little bit weighty, and also the straps are pretty thin. So yeah, I just felt like it was not that comfortable on my shoulder. And then sometime last year, I bought the medium Longchamp Le Pliage tote, which I used to own many years back, and then I stopped and I switched to using the Neverfull for like a good 5+ years, but now I've switched back basically. And once I bought that Longchamp bag, I basically pretty much stopped using my Neverfull completely. That Longchamp tote bag is actually slightly smaller than the Neverfull MM2. I think the large size is probably more comparable in size to the Neverfull. And that medium Longchamp tote just works so well for essentially the same purpose. Like, yeah, I can't really use that Longchamp tote as kind of like a grocery bag anymore, but now in New Jersey, they've basically implemented having to use your own reusable bags for groceries anyway. So I always have these grocery bags around, and I no longer have the need to use like my actual tote bag as sort of like a vessel to carry my groceries in. So yeah, the medium size just works perfectly for me when I just want to like grab something really quick and I don't want to like switch into like any of my other mini bags. And yeah, like earlier this year, I put that Neverfull bag in storage and I just never bothered to take it back out. It's still in there and I don't really feel like I have to take it out. Like even if I were to take it out, it's just going to be, you know, sitting in a closet somewhere. It's not going to change anything. I'm not going to suddenly start using it if I take it out of storage. I never would have guessed that the Neverfull would have been a bag that I just stopped using altogether, but it happened. And next is a mini reissue from Chanel. It is the white mini reissue with aged gold hardware, and this bag has really served me well for a good amount of time. It used to be kind of like my go-to special occasion bag. And it's also my only kind of like white bag in my collection. But the thing is, I feel like this worked better when I had a slightly smaller collection, because if I didn't have the right color bag to match my outfit, this was a very safe choice. But I feel like now that I have, you know, like a more wider range of colors in my bag collection, even though like, as you can see around me, there definitely is like a theme to it, but now that I have like a wider range of colors, I feel like I don't have to resort to a white bag anymore. I think that's the reason that I haven't really reached for this bag. And I think if I didn't have a white bag in my collection currently, if I were to get one single white bag, I would go for something that's more of like a shoulder bag. I'll show a picture on the screen of like this Gucci bag that I kind of have in mind for if I were to have like one single white bag in my collection. But I don't know if I would sell this one to get that one. Yeah, so for now, it's just kind of like sitting in my collection, being used as a display piece. For a month or so, it was like sitting over here, and now it's kind of like occupying the shelf that's like just out of view right here. So, you know, sometimes bags could be used as decor pieces, right? And next up is yet another Chanel bag, and it is the Chanel 19 right here in the caramel brown color that was like such a big deal a few years back. And I got so much use out of this bag for quite a while, up until I got my side trunk PM from Louis Vuitton. And they don't seem like too similar when you just like look at them like side by side, or you know, like even like on paper or whatever. They don't seem that similar. This one is significantly bigger than the side trunk PM. That one's in canvas, this one's in a lambskin leather, even though it's like treated so it's not super delicate. But what both of these bags have in common is I use both of them for casual outings, and almost all of my bags are mini bags, so I can easily switch from one mini bag to another, and it's just really easy to, you know, like switch all my items, because all my bags basically fit approximately the same amount of things. To be honest, this one fits a bit more, and yeah, you don't have to completely fill your bags all the time, but the problem with this one is that because it is slouchy, I feel like when there's too few items in here, it's a little too like smushy for my liking. And also there are like these gaps on the side of the bag, which I have mentioned in my review for this bag, that if you were to stick like a single lipstick in here or something like that, it could fall out of those gaps. So yes, I could throw like a lipstick into my mini bag, but if I were to transfer that into this, I'd have to go, you know, get a pouch to put those like little miscellaneous items in, and it's just like a little bit too fussy for my liking. Maybe if I were to get like an organizer for this, that would solve one of the problems that I just mentioned, but still, I feel like you still have those gaps on the outside, unless you get like an organizer with like a zipper, in which case I feel like that would make the bag more fussy. So yeah, unfortunately, this just got shoved aside in a way in favor of the side trunk PM, but I will say I have hope that I will reach for this once again when temperatures cool down, it gets a little bit colder, and I'm wearing like chunkier sweaters and coats and stuff, because I feel like the size of this bag might be more proportional to, you know, like when you're like all layered up in the winter. So hopefully I will be using this again when that happens. But yeah, for now it's just not been as loved as the side trunk PM is. And then the last bag on this list is, I think all of these bags I really love. Definitely really love them at one point. I wouldn't have added them to my collection otherwise. It kind of is a little bit sad to be talking about them in a video such as this one, but the last bag on this list is my mini lady Dior in the blush color. I'm just going to place the handles down like this, and I don't know, this bag is so pretty. This is the only Lady Dior that I own. There was a point in time when I had two. I had one in the medium size, and then I got this one, and there was like a little bit of an overlap before I sold the medium one. And I still am really glad I have a Lady Dior in my collection because it's so classic and I love how it looks. But I think the thing with this bag is it's not a color that I find myself wearing, generally speaking, as much as I probably did when I first got this bag. So if I'm going for like more muted colors like this, I usually go for like more like brown colors. And if I'm going for something that's like pink, I'm usually going for something that is a little bit more like pastel colored. So this is kind of like an awkward in between, and I feel like that's why I haven't been reaching for this one anymore. And also another thing is, I think like probably subconsciously these handles have fallen down just like one too many times for my liking, and I just got like so frustrated with it, because with this mini size specifically, if the handles fall at like just the right amount of force, the whole bag topples over. I don't think it happens with the small size, definitely not with the medium size that I used to own. So that is kind of like a little bit of an annoyance too, but I think the main reason is really the color of the bag. I have kind of considered the idea of maybe after selling the Chanel Vanity case in that pink color, after I sell that, I would get another mini Lady Dior in a similar pink to that one and swap that one with this one. But to be honest, ever since that whole ordeal that I had with my book tote, I just haven't really cared whatsoever to keep up with Dior at all. And even more so with, you know, the controversy that they've been in like in the recent few weeks. I don't know, it just doesn't even like make me want to buy anything from Dior, whether it's directly from them or pre-loved. I don't know, it's just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And now that I'm taking a closer look at this bag, like I said, I haven't touched this bag in quite a while. I gotta say that these D-rings holding the handles to the bag, they're not looking so good. There's quite a lot of tarnish on these D-rings. Hopefully I'm able to get that off. I feel like everyone says that like so black hardware or colored hardware is so hard to maintain, but I feel like my Ultra Matte Lady Dior in the medium size was easier to maintain than this, at least when it comes to, you know, the hardware. Yeah, they're not looking so great. They've kind of like tarnished, and it's kind of turned into like a coppery color when this is supposed to be like gold hardware. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with the mini Lady Dior right now. I still do love my top handle bags. I think this is so pretty with the two top handles on this. But part of me is like, could they not have designed this so the handles, you know, either they stay upright like this, similar to like the Chanel Kelly bag. I don't know, it's called like the Nano Shopper, but you know, I think a lot of people know it as like the Chanel Kelly bag. Yeah, either it could stay just like upright like that bag, or maybe have it like completely fold down like they did with the D-Joy. I don't know, why could they not have done that? I feel like that might have made a difference too. I don't know. Whatever the case is, that's kind of the situation with the mini Lady Dior in my collection right now. And I guess, luckily, I don't have even more bags to talk about in this video. This is it, 6 bags in total, out of about 15 in my collection that are like luxury designers, probably close to 20 overall in my collection. So yeah, there is like 30% or so that I just don't get enough use out of. But it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what bags in your collection have you also not been using. I would love to know your reasons behind why you haven't been using those bags. Are you thinking of letting them go because you're not using them, or are you happy to kind of keep them as like decor around your home? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing for lots more content on luxury handbags, jewelry, and fashion. And I'll leave 2 videos on the screen for you to watch next, so I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.